But hey, yo, we got a bantamweight featured bout banger right now. We got two guys without official nicknames on UFC stats, so you know what that means. We got Rob Boldfont versus Adrian Gamebred Jr. Yanez.
That's funny.
Not bad, right? Did my best.
I
So
don't hate.
that,
I don't hate it.
ooh, wow, classic guru. He doesn't hate it. All right, so Rob, we got to have a conversation, man. First of all, you're going to come in and make weight this time. That's the first part of the conversation. Big stuff. Second part of it, like, dude, are you gonna mix up your game enough with the type of things that throw Yanez off his game? We're talking leg kicks and we're talking offensive grappling. Because if you just play the range game, I don't care how much volume you have. You've been showing me recently and against Pedro Munoz and against John Lineker. And, you may have never been knocked out, but you've been knocked down plenty. You've been hurt plenty. I've seen the chicken dance one or two times before from you, Bold. So,
He's been knocked down, but did he get up again? And are you ever going to actually keep him down?
I think that this is Adrian's time to shine, man. I was kind of leaning towards Rob Font earlier in the week, but ultimately, this is I think I have to play Yanez inside the distance. I think that he could show off some of that supposed black belt skills that he's got. But I mean, this is also a guy that was working with Aljamain Sterling, guy that was working with Marab, who's done a lot of cross training since the unfortunate passing of his coach, and I think he's really settled in. He's got Rafion Stotts in his camp, so I think he's getting a lot of different grappling looks to where if Rob Font did even try to go that path, it might look a little different than like Adrian on the regional scene. So ultimately, I'm going to pick Adrian. I'm going to pick Adrian by knockout, but wouldn't be surprised if he hurts Font. Font goes for the classic shoot for a takedown, and Yanez actually finds his first UFC submission. He's got two on the record in his career, and I just don't think Font's a committed wrestler like Miles Johns, or committed leg kicker like some of the people that have also frustrated Yanez on the regional scene.
Wow, that's interesting, man. I think this fight is maybe one of the ones I'm most excited for. It's one of the ones that I've had to kind of really be fair, because if we're being honest, Adrian Yanez is one of the first, I think maybe the first fighter we've ever had on the show. Just a nice guy, and so I always like to make sure we're doing our due diligence here. Somebody that's become a fan favorite, not only to us, but again to a lot of people. And I think you kind of see that a little bit in this line. I do believe Adrian Yanez is the rightful favorite. I just feel like there might be a little, like I said, recency bias baked in. You've got Rob Font, who had two back-to-back main event matchups against Jose Aldo and Marlon Chito Vera, where guys, he was favored. He was favored in both of those matchups. We cashed both tickets, don't get me wrong. We cashed $2 tickets, don't get me wrong. But Rob Font was the line favorite. And you got to figure for a reason. Now, all of a sudden, in a fight that maybe it's maybe it's not pick 'em, but maybe it's, plus 125, plus 130, you're getting Rob Font plus 160. I don't hate how that looks. I really don't.
Yanez round 2 plus 550. Yanez round 3
Yeah.
plus 1,000. Might have to sprinkle.
That's the way to play this fight. I don't think maybe Luke has got his biggest play of the week on this, but I think the way to play it is kind of fun. Like TB said, you pick your guy. If you like Rob Font, you have to pick a decision, because he has no finishing equity at all, and otherwise you're paying Yanez. Maybe you're paying a round prop, like TB said.
Yanez and over 1.5 plus 110.
I think it's interesting. Yeah. So Rob Font has showed durability throughout his fights, right? A good amount of it, tough chin. So I don't know that Yanez just puts him out of there like that, Tony Kelly style. And I think that one thing that people are not talking about at all, I haven't seen it, I really think that Yanez has a speed advantage with his striking. Especially the boxing with the hands. People talk about, because Rob Font is like long or rangy. It's just kind of how he's wired. He's not really that much longer than Adrian. So
Mm.
I think Adrian's that much quicker though. Luca, please, you've been unbelievably patient. Take me away. Take me away.
So Rob Font's an interesting one. You're talking about nicknames. I call him Rob Font Runner because this dude is the epitome of a front runner. Like this dude should be the champion in terms of his skill set. Like he is a great fighter in terms of takedown defense, volume, striking, technical fundamentals, pace, like pocket awareness. Like there's so many things that he's phenomenal at. And he actually has a great chin. He does get hurt a lot. He gets knocked down a lot, but it's usually by guys who are hard hitters, and he tends to survive and recover fairly well. The problem with him is not physical. Physically, he has all the skills, all the tools, all the attributes that you would want. However, this man just cannot face adversity. It is absolutely absurd the level of resolve that this man does not have. He will be absolutely cruising in fights. We're talking about like absolutely phenomenal performances. Like look at his fight against Marlon Vera, where they're talking about like this is an all-time performance as he goes on to lose and get dominated. Outstrikes Marlon there, sets records for strikes landed despite losing because he couldn't handle the adversity. You look at his fight against Jose Aldo, comes out strong, does great, starts getting hit, gets knocked down, falls apart. I mean, this is the story of this man's career. He will come out strong, look like he is going to dominate the fight, win 3 10-8 rounds or 5 10-8 rounds if it's a 5-rounder, and then he gets hit once and all of a sudden the wheels just fall off. It is absolutely mind-blowing. It doesn't even require a knockdown. It doesn't require a near finish. Sometimes it's literally one clean strike, and you see the look of sheer terror wash over this man's face. Like you can see it in his eyes, the deer in the headlights look, and he falls apart. And I say all this to point out that this man is a feast for live betting opportunities. I said it going into his last 2 fights. I did not bet against him there pre-fight. I waited specifically till he won early on. Said in all my content as well, wait till after he wins the first round, then live bet his opponent. In the last case, Cheeto Vera, you get him at a great underdog price. It ended up happening, and Cheeto went on to win the fight. That's the case here again with me, in my opinion. I think in this fight, he is the better fighter here. I do not think that Adrian Yanez is superior to Rob Font in terms of skill, fundamentals, pace, volume, etc. I would say he probably has better speed, but that's about it. If Rob Font goes out there and fights his fight and doesn't take a big shot, he actually could potentially just cruise here and dominate. The problem is, at some point, he's probably going to take a shot.
Take a shot. Yeah, that 100%, Luca, 1,000%. We had just you just tweeted that earlier, and I had responded to it as well. Exactly, man. If Cheeto Vera, who you just watched, refused to strike, the dude refuses to throw. If he's gonna hurt you, Rob Font again, front runner. Oh my God. I mean, he's fighting Cheeto. You couldn't ask for a better fight. He's fighting Jose Aldo. You couldn't ask for a better start. He's killing it. And then he gets rocked, or he faces, like you just said, he slips on a banana peel. He faces some level of adversity, and it goes against him. Adrian Yanez's middle name, I bet he'd like to tell you, is adversity. He's going to fuck your day up. And I think even if Rob Font wins the minutes, Adrian wins the moments and eventually pours it on. So I actually do kind of like that late finish that you were talking about a while ago now, TV, because we've been breaking down these fights. I love it.
And with Font too, with Font, he's been getting knocked down a ton. He's been knocked down several times over his last couple of fights, despite not getting finished in them. Eventually, that chin's going to crack. Eventually, it's going to go from getting knocked down to getting knocked out, and he's taken a lot of damage at this point. I'm waiting for that fight to happen. This one could be it.
A lot.